afternoon, everyone in the dump truck. No, that's not me. That's not. I'm not. I'm not that hyped up, okay? I'm sorry. I'm listening to comfy, cozy, chill lo-fi beats on my phone here while I'm recording because I don't like to record in silence and be feel awkward. Um if you are wondering, actually, let me know if the audio sounds any better. I'm currently sitting underneath my desk because I'm fucking around with the audio and hoping that it sounds better than I've recorded in the past. And if it does, then I'll have to figure out a better way to record audio because I want to make sure that this comes out clearly to y'all. Uh, anyway, today's topics we have lined up. I'm gonna be firstly talking about dreams. Which, hey, haven't actually had a lot of dreams lately. I have a lot of anxiety dreams, and oh, please let me know what type of dreams you've had in the comments. If you are listening to this, I would love to read them. If anyone actually listens to this, I would be surprised if anyone does. But you know, comment what you've dreamed about because I would be really interested to know. Uh, I wanted to bring this up because while I was away in France, I had one fuck ass dream. First of all, I used to have dreams a lot, and actually, when I was, I believe it was in like first grade or like kindergarten, I heard what a nightmare was. First of all, how did I even not know what a nightmare was? That's insane to me. But also, I was a child, so cut me some credit here. But I wanted to have a nightmare so bad that I went into my backyard and I picked up a dandelion and I made a wish on the dandelion because I really wanted to know what a nightmare was. And I remember it being like that night. I was like, oh, okay, my dream came true, wishing on a dandelion comes true because I had my first nightmare and I was so like crazy surprised. Which, like, now that I think about it, that was not a nightmare. That was awesome. I get to ride a dinosaur through my like school gym. Like it was like a bronchosaur. It was a bronchosaur. It was a bronchosaurus, I believe. Um, and I got to ride on its back while going to the gym. And I think we were being chased by a T Rex, which is probably why I qualified it as a nightmare. But yeah, no, that doesn't really count. Had worse nightmares since then, obviously. Growing up and having to pay bills. I have a weirdly a lot of bad dreams about work. I wake up and I feel just dread in my body, which is super awesome. I love feeling dread in my body first thing in the morning. It makes me feel so refreshed. The kind of dread that you just can't wash off in the shower. I absolutely love that. So it's really cool. Anyway, I'd love to share with you guys this wild ass dream that I had. If I can pull up, I was so like impressed by like the like depth of this dream when I woke up. I had to like text it out and send it to everyone I knew. No, currently still. And then I took a screenshot of those texts so I could have it on my phone forever because this should be a fucking movie, bro. This should be a movie. Someone get on this. Anyway, I should have pulled this up already. I'm scrolling through my phone. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Highs and lows? Really? Okay, shut up. I found it. Okay. So, first of all, if you don't know who the comedian Nick Kroll is, look it up. This is no offense to him, but I think my subconscious kind of hates this guy, and I solely blame it on Big Mouth. No offense to you guys who like Big Mouth out there. Everyone has their different tastes. Mine is not Big Mouth. It is... God, the animation's so bad. I'm sorry. Okay. So, essentially, right? I was in a different dimension. I would wake up in my high school or my middle school, okay, and I would have to run through like the parent pickup area, and I'd go out into the parking lot, and I would have to find this red Toyota Corolla, right? And this happens, I'm jumping through a bunch of different dimensions. Every time I wake up, there's a different dimension, and I wake up with an item that does not exist in this dimension, right? So, like, let's say corn didn't exist in this dimension. I would wake up and I'd have a corn cob in my hand. Um, so in this dimension specifically that I woke up in, I woke up with tacos in my hand because apparently tacos didn't exist in this dimension. And so I have to run out and find this Toyota Corolla, a red Toyota Corolla. Mind you, I do not know what a Toyota, or I guess I didn't know. I know now, but I did not know what a Toyota Corolla looked like at the time that I was dreaming this. But I woke up and like looked up what a Toyota Corolla looked like, and my God, it was the same exact. I'm like, how was I able to identify that? Anyway, so I wake up, tacos, run to my Toyota Corolla to go and put the tacos in there. Because if anyone found me with the item that doesn't exist in that dimension, they would know that I'm not from that dimension, and then they would try to kill me. Because apparently, there's a bunch of people who want to kill me. Specifically, Nick Kroll was in control of a bunch of different dimensions of me, like me from different dimensions, and they were trying to kill me. But a bunch of different other me's from other dimensions were trying to stop the other me's from killing me. For some reason, Nick Kroll had it out for me. So essentially, I have to make it to this Toyota Corolla with the tacos, put it in there before they know that I am the me that they're trying to kill. I get out there, and there's a me who is dressed like really cool, like, and by cool I mean like by like 80s standards cool. For some reason it's like knee pads on, elbow pads on, backwards hat, like 80s style glasses on, and she is trying to kill me. But I didn't know. That's another thing. I do not know whether these people are, or like these other versions of me are good or bad. I just have to like try to like make way with it. And so she's trying to kill me, and she's opened up this like portal to another dimension, I guess, to take me back to Nick Kroll so he could do it himself, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I am almost through this portal when me dressed up as a cowboy lassos my leg, pulls me out of the portal, and then pushes the other me into the portal and closes it. Then I look at cowboy me dead in the eyes, and I say, with tears flowing down my face, I love you, and I wish that I could be with you every day. And in response, cowboy me just tipped her hat and then disappeared. And every day since that dream, I have thought about cowboy me, and I know that I will never live up to those expectations. I can't lasso things. I can't tie a knot, and you expect me to be able to like tie a lasso? I can't do that. I don't have the skill. I don't have the determination. I'll never be her. Anyway, so I'm saved, and I go to find this dimension's like my parents, and I hunt them down. I find them, and my mom and dad open the door, and they start crying, and they look at me, and they're like, "You'd be about 21 now, wouldn't you?" And I go, "Uh-oh, this dimension's me is dead." And they're like, "Yeah." And then I come in and I explain everything to them. Like, this is, I'm not from here. Like, I'm not the daughter you knew. I'm completely different. And they're like, "We understand. Like, come in and like sit down, and we'll talk about this." And my parents leave to go and like gather materials, I guess. I don't really know. And this girl walks in. I'm sitting in my living room. This girl walks in, and mind you, I'm the youngest in my family. And so when this girl walks in, I'm like, who the fuck is that? What in the hell? And she's like 15 years old. And I would say she was about like, I don't even know. Yeah, probably like 15. Anyway, my parents come in and they're like, oh yeah, that's your little sister. Like, we adopted her. There was like this huge hunger crisis in another country, and they had a bunch of refugees that came here, and we took her in. Anyway, I get to know her, and I like love my family. The thing is that I have three older sisters, and none of them are around. And one day I'm like, what's going on? Like, where are my older sisters? And they're like, well, here's the deal. It's time you knew about what happened to this Dimensions you. And I'm like, okay. Now here's the thing. My dad owns guns because he's a red-blooded American. And he regularly leaves them out on the counter. And this is a real life thing that he does, and we have gotten after him a million times before, and he's done a lot better now, granted, that it is illegal to leave out your guns like that, I believe, from where I'm from. I don't know. But anyway, there was one night where someone broke into our house and found the gun that my dad left out on the counter. And I walk out to see what's going on. Like, this Dimensions me walks out, sees what's going on. And the guy who broke into my house took the gun and shot me. And I died. Now, here's the thing. And this is real. In real life, my dad owned a shotgun. Hypothetically, this shotgun was not officially his. Hypothetically. This is not real, okay? This is hypothetical. And hypothetically, he hid this shotgun in my house. And he hid it so well that if the police were to, let's say, raid our house and search for this hypothetically not his weapon, they wouldn't be able to find it. But the only problem is that my dad is so good at hiding this that now he can't even find it. So hypothetically, there's a hypothetically stolen gun in my house, hypothetically hidden so well that it cannot be found. So, cut to my dream. And there's like this thing in that happened in my dimension that made Nick Kroll rise to power. And what happened was that he was like a low life like thief. That he's a theft. He was a low life thief. Okay, and he would break into people's houses and steal shit and leave. Now, in my dimension, he broke into my house and he stole my dad's shotgun and left. Alright? So, after he stole the shotgun, he sold the shotgun, and that's how he made his small amount of money that eventually got him to rise to power as, like, an animator, comedian, like, doing all these different things, and he, like, rose to, like, be this, like, villain of capitalism, I guess. I don't really know. Imagine Nick Kroll with, like, a silky red robe on, you know? That's what I'm imagining. A little king hat on. It's, like, tilted because he's a tyrant, you know? And so in my dimension, he did that. He stole the shotgun, took it, sold it, made his small fortune, and then became a villain. And we go to this dimension, and I absolutely love my little sister, and I am so excited to like be around her. And like in my home dimension, like I don't really have my family that much. Like, I don't have people around me, and I'm just sad and alone. But in this dimension, I have my family, and I'm happy, and everything's good, and I want to stay. And when I fall asleep that night, I wake up, and I'm still in this dimension, and things haven't changed. And I stayed there for a while until one day my sisters from my home dimension show up, and they're like, Abby, you need to come home. Oh, that's my name, by the way. Hi. Uh, they're like, Abby, you need to come home. And I'm like, I can't. I have my family here. I can't leave here. They're like, no, our dimension is falling apart. Without you there, its seams are just ripping, tearing. We can't function when there's something missing from our dimension. We need to have you back. And I go, but there's nothing for me there. They're like, if you don't come back on your own, we will have to take you physically. And then my dad walks in, and he cocks the fucking shotgun that he lost in, hypothetically real life. He cocks that shotgun that Nick Kroll was supposed to steal. And they look at him, and they're like, what? And he's like, what? What's wrong? And they're like, he hasn't gotten to your shotgun yet. Nick Kroll hasn't become a villain yet. And they're like, what do you mean? They're like, no, you don't understand. Like, he came in and he stole that gun. You guys don't have it. He hasn't become a villain in this world yet. There's still a chance that you could fix this. And we're like, I don't really understand. They're like, okay, but whatever. And then they ask, like, what happened? Like, how did he not steal this? And my dad goes, well, when this dimension, Abby, died, we were so taken aback, and I blamed myself a lot, and my, this dimension sisters, left, and they didn't talk to me because they all blamed me, because I would just leave my guns out on the counter, which, fair. And so after that, I locked up all my guns. Are you kidding me? So he had the shotgun, he had everything locked up, and Nick Kroll wasn't able to steal the shotgun. And so they're like, well, you know what you have to do. And I'm like, what? And they're like, you have to Nick Kroll. And I'm like, whoa, I can't do that. Like, what are you talking about? They're like, no, we know this bar that he frequents. Come on. So they take me down to this bar, and I walk in, and sure enough, there is famed comedian and co-creator of Big Mouth, Nick Kroll, lying there drunk on the bar, head down on the bar, shot in his hand, just And I'm like, I need to wake him up. I need to talk with him. I need to figure out a way that I could possibly, hold on, I'm gonna readjust on the ground again. But that I could possibly make this right. And then Stevie Nicks from fucking Fleetwood Mac walks in, in full Stevie Nicks fashion. Big, black, gothic gown. And an eye patch over her eye. She's somehow capable of controlling spiders. And just walks in grand entrance style. Bunch of different, spiders everywhere crawling all around. She's like, you have to do it. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you have to end him before he creates Big Mouth. And then I woke up. And sadly, Big Mouth does still exist in this dimension. So that is really disappointing. Dreams are insane. They are a powerful thing, if you think about it. When I was a kid, after the kindergarten nightmare thing, I had a reoccurring nightmare. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, the live-action, Underdog movie. I'm gonna have to look up his name. Because I would have a recurring nightmare. And what's insane about this is that, and I don't even know, we need to, look into dreams more. I don't understand them. I don't think anyone understands them. And the fact that, this reoccurring nightmare happened every fall for 4 years. I don't know what changed, but every fall, I would have the sidekicks, or the villain's sidekick from the live-action Underdog. Let me look it up. Underdog. Oh, girl, just give me the cast. It's not Brett Garrett. Oh my god, it's Patrick Warburton. I'm pretty sure that's him. He haunted my nightmares for so long. Yeah, that's him. Which, shout out to Peter Dinklage. Because he apparently did not scare me enough. But his sidekick scared me enough. Anyway, yeah. Crazy. He basically would try to chase me around. Oh, just turned my music off. He would basically try to just chase me around and, implant, like, a computer chip in my neck. And he would be able to, like, control me. And then I'd be doing all these cool ninja moves to try and, like, escape him. I don't know. Cool dream. Honestly, I don't know why I'm recording a podcast episode right now. I am not feeling very talkative. Hopefully, in the future, I'm gonna have other people joining me while I talk, because, let's be honest, I am not very good at keeping a conversation by myself. But I wanted to try this out, so shut up, leave me alone. Can I try new things? Dear Lord. Been trying to, like, unmask. Okay, let me clarify some things first. Okay, I know that, like, right now, people saying, like, they use a lot of, like, terms used with autism. Now, let me clarify. I am not diagnosed with autism. I have been told by several people that I should get checked for that, and those several people have been people who are also autistic, so they kind of have an idea of what's going on down there. Or in there, in my little noggin. So, take this completely with a grain of salt. But I do understand that, autistic or not, I feel like people in general have the ability to mask. And I have definitely grown up with a sort of mask on. And actually, I'm going to look up. Hold on. If you guys don't know what masking is, because I want to make sure that I get this right. Okay. Masking is concealing or hiding aspects of oneself, whether intentionally or unintentionally, to fit in or avoid perceived negative reactions. Right? Oh, it even says social pressure. Individuals may mask to avoid judgment, discrimination, or negative reactions from others. Coping mechanism. Masking can be a way to manage social anxiety, sensory overload, or other challenges, and as a trauma response as well. This consists of mimicking behaviors, suppressing emotions, forcing eye contact. Oh my lord, I do that all the time. I heard, I think I've watched, like, an old Jaden Animations video, where it's like, my mom used to, like, force me to make eye contact with a bunch of people, and by the end of, like, the conversation that I had with people, she would ask me what color eyes that person had, and then I'd have to answer correctly. I don't do that, because if you were to ask me what color my mom's eyes are, I could not tell you. I'm pretty sure they're brown. But I do try my best to make eye contact, because I feel like it's a very, like, sign of respect, and I have such a hard time with, like, respecting others. Not like that I'm, like, bad at it, or, like, I'm bad person. I don't know how to put it this way. I try to be respectful. That it sometimes comes off as over respectful, and that's something that I'm working on. Okay, I'm also, like, working on, like, not being totally anxious all the time. Now, ask my friends, and they would be able to tell you, like, oh yeah, no, she's pretty extroverted, like, she blah blah blah. And first of all, I've never really thought of myself as extroverted. I've always seen myself as more introverted. But I guess that is because I'm around myself more often than they are. But I am able to, like, have random conversations with people, like, in the supermarket, or, like, also a supermarket, at the store. Yeah. I forget what I was gonna say. Lord. Anyway, been really trying to work on that, and I hope that people out there who are struggling with that you guys can think about it and work through it. I have this like chronic issue of just like I want to fix something and then I never do any sort of like actual research or get like actual help to fix it, and I'm just like I'm gonna figure it out on my own. We'll see. um, so that's where I'm going with that, and I'm just trying to just enjoy life a little bit better. My current living situation, not the best. It's been worse, but not the best. And I'll be moving out soon, so hopefully in this new place I'll be a little bit more happy, a little bit more capable of acting like myself, and I hope that that shows through a little bit more in these. If not like for people who listen, but more for like myself and trying to get more comfortable in making videos and making these type of things. And um, I'm sorry if like the first videos of this are not great. I feel like there's a learning curve to everything, and I'm really working on trying to give myself time. I've been trying affirmations, really interesting. Uh, just writing sticky notes and putting them around my room and like seeing them from time to time and just being like, it takes time and it's okay, or like take a shower. I take a shower every day. But sometimes when I get in like super, if I get really in my head, I have a hard time taking care of myself, and so I'm able to put that up around my room and be able to remind myself like, hey, keep trying, keep doing it. Uh, I would say that like I do get like depressed from time to time, but you can manage it in some ways. I wouldn't say that I am like like should be or am diagnosed with depression. I am working through it myself. I am able to gauge it for myself, and I feel like that is like an indication of like, oh, you should probably good. You're probably good. But hey, I'm not a professional. I don't know that, so don't take my word for anything. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just talking because I want to, and then putting it on the internet so everyone can see it forever and everything's fine. It's okay. It's fine. It's cool. It's fine. Really. Anyway, yeah, be graduating soon. It's been crazy. I'm in college. I went straight from high school straight to college, and although I do feel good because like there's like certain stages in people's lives, and I had like mapped it out since I was a kid of like where I wanted to be, or where I thought like the social standards were to be, like by the time that you're 16, you should be driving a car, you should be driving to school, like you should have a job, and by the time that you're 18, you should have graduated high school, and you should be starting college, and in college you should find somebody and marry them eventually. And I have been really fortunate that a lot of those things have been working out for me, and it's been really happening naturally. I haven't really tried to force anything except for maybe the license thing. I really worked hard to get my license, but I was 17 when I got my license, so I was a little bit older. Not bad though, because some people don't even get their license until they're 18 or 20 even, or go throughout their entire life without their license, and that's completely fine too, because not everybody needs it. And I wish that the United States was more walkable, but we're a large ass country, and we continue to be a large ass country, so cars it is. But yeah, I'm 22 years old, and I'll be graduating college, which is pretty awesome. I feel like I'm on track, but I also feel as though there is different ways of going about your life, and that if you're not 22 and graduating college, or if you're not 22, or if you're older or younger or whatever, it's important to just go through and do what you think is right. I just want to be able to just explore the world, and that's really my main goal in life, is to be able to do that. And what sucks is that, the current state of the world is not very welcoming to that kind of stuff. I'm talking economics wise. Recently, The old dump Trump. Not dump truck, by the way. No relation. There is no relation between us, alright? I have nothing to do with that guy. But yeah, the old DJT popping in them tariffs and screwing up the economy real bad has been really awesome. Been really enjoying that. This is recorded just. Oh man, has it only been a day? I think it's. That was not yesterday. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It's been 2 days. This is 2 days after the April 5th protests in the United States. And it is crazy. It is very crazy. There's some reports that there were 5 million people that showed up that day. I've also seen like reports of like over 1 million. I have no idea what the actual records are, and I also have no idea how they count that. In my head, it's like those little clicker things. I don't know if you ever been like on like a boat. I went on a ferry across like to Mackinac Island once, and they have like these little clicker things that counts. They look and they click it, and the click counts how many times you click it, and that's how many people that the person saw in that room. I wonder if that's like what they did for the protest, or if it was just like these are the people that signed up, because I know that I didn't sign up for anything, so it had, if it was like that, there's probably more, but I'm pretty sure that they probably did some sort of like scan or something, because that doesn't seem very right. We did have drones that flew over us at the protest. They flew over several times, so maybe the drones were kind of like taking in a scan of everything. I don't know how technology works. Don't ask me. I don't know. If a drone can fly over us and count us, I would believe that. I feel like that's not very unbelievable at this point. There's robots out there that can mimic Joe Biden's voice, and you're going to sit here and tell me that a drone can't fly over us and count us? You're lying. Anyway. Yeah, so the tariffs are awesome, and I'm so excited for Canada to become the 51st state of the United States of America. I'm so excited. God. I don't know what got us into this situation. And hey, if you voted for Trump and you are currently like, man, that guy sucks, I hear you, and I respect that you are able to do this. That is one of the hardest things, and I know that like, hey, if you're not someone who voted for Trump and like and you don't want to hear this, I understand. But I need you to understand that people who voted for Trump and are currently like, oh, he sucks. Like, you gotta let him in, man. We can't do this alone. We have got to accept people like that and be like, you know what? It takes a lot to own up to your mistakes, and it takes a lot to admit you're wrong. So if they can do that, just be impressed that they can and just welcome them in, because that is insane and more common than you think. Coming from a family where a lot of people voted for Trump, in their current states aren't against him, at least as far as I know. I have not been home in a while, so I'll get back to you on that one. But if they're not against him by now, I'd be pretty surprised, because the whole deportation thing, the whole like tariff thing, and the whole like executive order thing, and it's just not great. It is not great. And like being afraid of DEI and being afraid of CRT and LGBTQ, it sounds like these motherfuckers are just scared of goddamn letters at this point. Dear Lord. I am tired of them. And I want something better. Because we deserve better. Or maybe we don't deserve better. I don't think anyone deserves this, though, at this point. It's embarrassing. So, hopefully, protests will send in a little, like, hey, man, knock that shit off. Please. Please knock that off. Please, I'm crying. Crying in the streets. Please stop. Yeah. Any hoosers. I don't know how we got onto that topic from graduating, but yeah, I will be graduating soon. going into the career force with my bachelor degree in arts. The fine arts is not even the fine arts. I could only choose between a bachelor's degree of arts and a bachelor's degree of science. And I am not a STEM major. I am a major in psychology. And no, okay, there's people that will argue that psychology is not a STEM degree, which, like, I can see that full-heartedly. It depends on two things. So, like, the psychology degree can go one of two. I mean, it can go several different ways, but let's say you're going for your doctorate, right? Get your doctorate, you can get your PhD or your PsyD. So, essentially, you have these two different practices. There's the what is it called? It's like the scholar practitioner, and then, or no, practitioner scholar, and like the science practitioner models is what it is, or something like that. And the science practitioner is your PhD. That is where you're getting like statistics credits, you're going into more science oriented classes. That is like your research kind of stuff. That's like people who are going to conduct research. And the thing is, the only thing that like psychology really has that like gets them in the STEM degree area is the research part. If we aren't doing that, if we're not like putting out hypotheses and doing research and publishing work and everything like that, yeah, I can understand why you wouldn't call that a STEM degree, because on the other end you have your PsyD, right? And now your PsyD is a doctorate where it's not research focused and it's more like scholarly focused. It's more of like the application of the research. You are like, that's like, and I don't want to like generalize and say like, oh, this is like all like counselors and stuff like that, but you know, you can become a counselor with PsyD. You can but it's like more like non-research focused stuff. So like counselors, therapists, such things, you know. So I'm not going either of those routes. That's where I'm a little bit afraid of the future, because I got my bachelor's degree in arts, not sciences, which puts me geared towards a PsyD program. PsyD programs are expensive and not good. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're good, but if you don't have money, you're not going to get as many scholarships as you would for a PhD. The PhD is going to get you a lot more scholarships, and you could essentially go and get your doctorate if you play your cards right for free. A lot of places that are willing to employ you while you're still getting your degree are willing to do tuition reimbursement or pay for your tuition to get into these programs and get this stuff under lock, and then they'll even offer you a job after you graduate. Because if they put all that effort into you, then why wouldn't they want to hire you, you know? Anyway, that being said, I don't have a lot of money, but I also don't have a lot of brain power. It is my senior year, and I am so tired, and I want to take a break. And to be honest with you, I was hoping that I would have figured something out by now that could have let me do something else, you know? I've always been really into instruments, and I never really got to do anything with that because I can't figure out how to record things. It is ungodly, and it is evil, and I've been trying to use Soundtrap to record stuff, and this is coming back to masking, telling you right now, I have this shit under lock and key. Anyway. I am constantly afraid of doing things outside of the box, because I worked so hard to get in the box. And so when I get outside of the box and then people look at me weird, I'm like, fuck, I did something weird again. I'm not, like, this isn't, But I have to, like, kind of put that kind of faith into myself and be able to just, like, you know, push through and do the things that make me happy. And this is one of the things that make me happy. When I'm recording stuff like this, I feel like I'm doing something that makes me productive and makes me want to do something that be like, I did that. Yeah, I wanted to do that. I did it. Good job on me, And so I'm hoping that by recording more stuff like this and being able to like record, hopefully music one day, if I can figure out how to produce music, which I mean shouldn't be okay. It will be hard. It is hard. This is why people don't not everybody does it. But I have a pretty good understanding. I have a pretty good understanding of music, like musical instruments. I play the drums, play the guitar, bass, piano, a little piano, not a lot of piano. So I feel like that should really get me on the starting end of that. But then there's like getting over my voice, and just listening back on recordings of myself is enough to make me cringe so bad I want to scoop my eyeballs out and lie on the floor and bleed out to death. So feel like that's not a very normal reaction to have to your voice, and I feel like I should just try and love myself better. Yeah. So hopefully, and this is kind of a little bit of a goal for me in the future, is that when hopefully I continue recording these things and I continue finding it easier to talk to myself and maybe even other people, making new friends. Oh my gosh, that'd be so crazy if I made new friends. I'm totally not like lonely or anything, but if I can make myself step out of the box more and do things that aren't considered normal, meeting new people and doing stuff like that, I will have considered my life good. And I'm not saying that my life has been bad so far, because I have had a pretty stellar life. I'm in college right now. I wouldn't say first generation college student because, like, I guess I'm pretty sure that just means, like, my parents didn't go to college, and, like, technically my dad went to college, but he didn't graduate, so I'm gonna count myself as first generation. But yeah, I'm putting myself through college, and that's pretty cool that I can manage to do that. Granted that I took a lot of money out from the government. Anyway, thanks, sweetie. I love you, government. I did not protest you. What? I did not do that. I would never. I love you. Government, give me more money. So yeah, I put myself through college thanks to the delicious government, and I am capable of coming to school, and I will be graduating school, and be moving on with my life, and essentially having to pay back our lovely little government, and that's gonna be fun. Hopefully I can do that, but hopefully I can also in the meantime find myself being a happier person, and I'll be surrounded by awesome people. Be moving in with my fiance, and I will be moving in with one of my best buddies. So that'll be awesome. And maybe I can find if you find that these podcasts get happier. I really hope so. I really do. It's been really crazy these past few years. My freshman year, I was here completely on my own. I figured out how to go to college on my own. I didn't even have the help of my school, which, like, granted, I'm sure is not a very uncommon thing. I feel like a lot of people who go to university just figure it out, and I figured it out during the COVID-19 pandemic. That was crazy, and I came to school at the tail end of the COVID-19 pandemic, and I met friends, met my fiance, and it was a crazy first year, and then the second year I was kind of, skimming around on couches, and by couches I mean my fiance's couch, and by couch I mean her bed. I was there constantly because, roommate situation was crazy, I guess. And then junior year was actually pretty cool. That was when I got to move in with my fiance, and that was pretty nice. And then there was drama towards the end. It's always towards the end of the year. I don't know if it's like the change of seasons or something, or if I'm like an asshole in the spring. I don't know. But, it's springtime, so. And I'm still going through drama, actually. So maybe it's just like, maybe it's the time of year. Maybe spring brings out the dick in us. Which would, I feel like winter should do that instead of spring. But maybe it's like the way that spring messes with. Or, maybe it's just because, people do things and it's a complete coincidence. Who am I to say? I have no idea. Maybe Mercury is in retrograde. I don't know if I fully believe that. Sometimes I do. I should look it up. Is Mercury in retrograde? Hold on. Hop on that. Is not being able to spell Mercury in retrograde right now. It is not currently in retrograde, but when was it? It ended April 7th. It ended today. It ended today. And I went through all of the drama in my life last week when it was in retrograde. So that is one thing that I will believe in. And you know what? I will blame these planets. I will blame these planets for these things because I don't care. And if I can put blame on to anything else, hey, mind you, check it, okay? 1600s in Europe. We're talking like 1600s in before that. So like I want to say like 900 to 1600s Europe, right? You had the European witch trials. And I took an entire class on the witch trials, so let me talk, let me cook. You have these women that are like in villages. Now imagine this, okay? You are in the town that you grew up in, and the people in your graduating class are the people that you live with for the rest of your life. Dear Lord. For the rest of your life. The people in your graduating class are the people you live with for the rest of your life. You are going to hate each other from every now and again, okay? And this was a common thing back in like the witch trials in Europe, or before the witch trials in Europe. You had women who would put hexes on each other. Now hexes was just really just like kind of like speaking bad of other people, or like they had like little bottles that allegedly were used for these things. And let me just put it out there, there's no evidence of actual witches in the witch trials in Europe. There's no real evidence of it. If you say so, you're lying to yourself. Put it in the comments. I'll fight you on this one. I will fight you on this one. There's no evidence of real witches during these times. Or people that really claimed to be witches. A lot of the people that died in the witch trials were women who were Christians and were told that they were being possessed by the devil. And it was sad and not cool. Anyway, you are in this really small town. You've got your entire graduating class with you, right? You have to be friends with these people for the rest of your life because that is your social circle. That is your everything. There's no one else around. You are in like a cornfield in the middle of nowhere. And so you had to get along with these people. You put hexes on these people when they make you upset. When you've had like a social, I forget the word. It's like a marred. Your social life has been marred, essentially. Let's say like there was a baby shower, right? And you didn't get invited, and you're like, that bitch Jessica didn't invite me to her baby shower. You put a hex on her. You put a hex on her, and then suddenly her family's cow is dying. And she's like, what the fuck, my family's cow is not producing milk anymore. She's sick. I don't know what's going on. Everyone was like, someone put a hex on you. And you're like, well, what do I do? That's what forced people to go around and talk to people. Now, granted, this didn't always happen. Bad things just happen to people sometimes. And people get depressed and people get sad. And when you are having these feelings, a lot of people reasoned that you have been hexed and you need to make up with somebody in your life. Now, granted, what I'm saying, does it have any like actual evidence to it or any like backing to it? Maybe. Don't take everything I say literally. God. Don't know why you're acting like this today. Don't take anything I say literally. But if you want to go around and tell everybody this, just know that I took a class on this. There's my credibility taken away and given back to you in one sentence. Anyway, these people, hexed, all that fun stuff. You have to go around, make up with the people that you harmed socially, and that would hopefully help your situation. And when you made up with them, it made it a lot easier to live with each other. So if you had this system of like putting quote unquote hexes on other people, it helped you get along with people that lived near you for your entire life. So that's kind of like the idea of the witch trials. Anyway, I don't know how I got on this topic either. God, maybe I'll get better at this too in the future. Um, so yeah, now I gotta think about this. If I had a single bone of kindness in my body, I would go back and edit these so you didn't have to listen to me say and pause to think so often. I don't have the time for that, and you can't make me. So I'm just gonna force you to listen to me say these things and deal with it. So yeah, you're welcome. I think I was talking about masking and fitting into social situations. I don't know, but that was I can bring it back to that if you want to talk about that. We can do that. Uh, Social situations really don't do well in those. Maybe I'm just afraid of being hexed. Maybe it's just like a long a long survival instinct that's passed over from Europe. A little fun fact about the European trials: there's a happened. I forget the name of the town, but there was a town that literally was left with like one woman in the entire town. The witch trials were actually really sad if you really think about it, and it's insane that people mostly just think of Salem, which, like, granted, like, this is the United States and we read the Crucible, so we learn about the witch trials, but like, I don't think people truly understand how genuinely bad they were and how big they were. Because in the grand scheme of things, the Salem witch trials weren't that bad. In the grand, like, in context to, like, what was going on in Europe, the Salem witch trials is PG. Because they were doing some absolute messed up things. And you can look it up. I believe it's, like, in Germany. They have a, museum of like old witch hunting stuff, and they have like a prick. So here's the idea. Okay, so you've got these things called imps, which are like little devils that are gonna try and like uh trick women into feeding them their blood, and then they'll be like they're kind of like their familiars and stuff like that. And so witches were trying to like feed these imps, and they had these familiars, and they work for the devil, right? And so you'd have like little marks on your body that they would try to find, like the hunters would try to find on you, to try to like identify you as a witch, right? So they'd find some sort of like flaw or imperfection, which is really messed up. Like you're essentially looking at a woman's body and saying that part of you is ugly, and that's probably what made you a witch. We're gonna try to see if you're a witch. And so how it worked was they'd take this little machine that would prick you. Had like a needle in it, and it was kind of like a dagger looking type thing, and they would poke you at the spot that was flaw or imperfection. By flaw or imperfection, I mean like a mole or like a skin tag or like some sort of scar or something. And they'd prick it, and if it didn't bleed, that was a witch's mark. And you would be put on trial as a witch because you didn't bleed when you were pricked. If you did bleed, then you're good. Then you're not a witch. It's fine. But the problem is that these needles were retractable, and when they pricked you, the needle would just go back into the like handle, and you wouldn't bleed. So it was all rigged in the first place. Now, I can't remember fully what the benefits were. There was some sort of benefits to oh yeah, so like essentially you got like these peasant folk that are going around. They're the ones that do all the farming and everything. They do all this stuff, and they're like, "You're a witch." They'd accuse people of being witches all the time because they had the whole hex thing going on. I'm pretty sure that's just a theory, but whatever. They'd have like the whole hex thing going on, and they'd be like, "You know what? You're a witch. No, you're a witch." They'd get fighting over it, and like you got like lords that are like, the wheat production, the wheat harvest is like way too slow. What's going on? They're like, "Bro, we've got witchcraft. You guys gotta like fix this or something." And they're like, "What do you mean? That's your shit. I'm not dealing with that." They're like, "No, you gotta do something about this. This is a problem." And so that's why they would have the witch trials, and they would just try to get it over with, and they don't have to deal with it anymore. The thing is that, like, you get these guys who are talking about, like, philosophers, I guess, of Christianity, that are like, "Yo, no, witches are totally a thing, and I am going to go around and do this, like, conduct these hunts everywhere to get rid of all these witches, right?" And they make these stupid accusations that, like, so, like, when you think of, like, modern day witches, you think of, like, an old hag or, like, a hot, sexy lady that's young. And, that's kind of, like, the idea back then, is that if you were an old hag, it's because it's like, you're an old hag, no family, no friends, no, children. First of all, that's an old cat lady. Like, let's put the old cat ladies, they've been around forever. And, that's kind of like the like accusation of cats being attached to witches as their familiars. Like, I guess cats has just always been a good companion for people, and so if you had a cat, you're an old lady, like, you're a witch. You're a witch because you don't have any children, so your womb has been taken over by the devil. And this is a real thing. This is a real thing that they were accused of having. This was their train of thought, is that if you didn't fill your womb with baby to make children, then you fill your womb with the devil. And the devil is gonna make you have devil baby. And devil baby is like your imp. And the imp's gonna eat you. They're gonna suck in your blood. And they're gonna pass on more devil shit. I don't know what they were thinking back then. I'm not gonna sit here and try to reason with them and try to understand where they're coming from. Like, you seriously expect me to be like, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Like, they were draining the blood from your body to drink it because they're the devil, and that makes total sense. But, like, it made sense for them to the extent that they were willing to kill people. And the thing is like, women were tortured. Women were tortured, and they believed that they deserved it because they were being possessed by the devil. Because they were accused they were being possessed by the devil. They were Christian. They did not want to be possessed by the devil anymore. So they're like, "Get this guy out of me." So they'd take her up in front of the town square. They'd do public torture. And they'd be like, "Dude, we're gonna like do some nasty stuff." I'm not gonna go into detail because that is messed up. Okay, I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but there were fingernail pulls at the very least. That was like that was level 1. They had stages to this shit. It would get worse, and then the women would be tortured to an extent that they would die. And by the time that they died, they believed it was like, we saved her soul before she died, so Jesus is gonna take her and it's okay and it's fine. That is not cool. That is not cool, and that's not okay. God, Christianity, you guys, I'm rooting for you guys. You guys are pretty chill sometimes, not all the time. But you guys have a really fucked up past, which granted a lot of religions have a fucked up past, so I'm not gonna like point out and be like, you're the worst, but like that did suck of you. You shouldn't have done that. So yeah, witch trials, real fun. I hope that you guys are doing well out there, and that in the future you hear a happier me. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm the most like sad person in the world. I obviously am not. I'm actually pretty happy now. I just I hope that I can eventually find what really makes me tick, that really makes me do the things that I want to do. I've always felt like I wanted to do entertainment things, and if you find this entertaining, it's an entertaining. Like, you could subscribe if you made it this far. I'm honestly really impressed because the amount of pauses and and going off topics and then not being able to bring myself back around to the main topic. But if you enjoyed this, drop a like if you want, and subscribe if it's cool. Cool if you don't, it's fine. So you don't have to. You made it this far. That's honestly enough for me. I really don't think anyone's gonna make it this far though. I would be genuinely surprised if I, first of all, end up doing this consistently at all. I do not have it in me. I also do not have the time. I'm supposed to be peer reviewing an article. Peer reviewing papers right now, and I'm not, because I didn't want to do it, and I'm here doing this instead, and I haven't published, for the love of God. I have not made another video like this in a while. I did record another episode, but then I got into too much detail about things that I don't think I know enough about to be talking about, so I didn't post it. So I'm recording this now and hopefully uploading this soon. And I don't edit any of my videos because I edit stuff on the main channel. But I don't edit the podcast because I am lazy, and that's a lot of video footage to do. And why are you? I shouldn't have to defend myself to you. You get this way every time, and it's so irritating. Sorry. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. It's been an hour, so I'm gonna go drink water and go look at a computer screen for hours on end, so wish me luck. Bye.